The meeting is live streamed. Unbelievable. It works.
Okay.
We're live.
Let's see.
Oh, we need to start because it's like it started itself. So it will appear in YouTube after 3 minutes. So if we just wait, we will never start talking.
We are starting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Killer Whale podcast. And today,
The one and only.
The one and only, yes. By the way, we will have one of our new co-hosts here with us, Maren. Welcome, Maren. Welcome.
Hey, Maren.
Hey, Maren. Yes, nice to have you.
You should sing a song.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, we have Mitya as well. So in regards to the latest news on the launch of a decentralized exchange GEX and the final unlock on KWT tokens, we are holding today a NAMA session with Mitya, always present with us here today. And welcome again, Mitya. Thank you for being here. Where we're going to be asking questions that you guys submitted through a link. So yes, and we will start right away. I believe that it's great news that GEX is being launched. So my first questions obviously is intuitive. What is GEX, Mitya?
You're starting from very hard question, which first of all, I have to say, Happy New Year, everyone who belongs to people who celebrate New Year today. So yeah, Rosh Hashanah, Chag Sameach, Matok. Okay, so it's a very hard question because it's there is no single answer to that. GEX is of course GOSH, Decentralized Exchange, and this is the kind of important exchange to whoever ever read or heard or whatever about GOSH tokenomics may know that this GEX exchange is kind of systemic exchange to GOSH tokenomics because like the projects can, open source projects that has GOSH repositories with GOSH DAO tokens, they can list their tokens in GEX exchange. And people who holds GOSH tokens can provide liquidity to these open source projects and so on and so forth, so I won't repeat. But we are not launching GEX on GOSH yet. Instead, what we're going to do first, and that is cooperation between GOSH and KWPC, is to start GEX exchange on Everscale blockchain. And that will be done in cooperation with Flex. And when I say cooperation, it's really just we are going to use newly created, launched Flex order book, decentralized distributed order book exchange on Everscale blockchain to list GOSH tokens, still open source project tokens, which create projects on GOSH into GEX exchange. And the KWPC, via its KW fund, which is like also kind of, maybe we'll talk about that, how that's structured.
Yeah.
But yeah, but general idea is that KWPC will provide the launch pad to these projects on GEX on Everscale. So GEX on top of Flex. I don't know, call it whatever you like, but that's the idea. We will use the same order book as Flex. Basically, it is the Flex. Flex is the order book on Everscale. And on top of that, we will list the tokens through special KWF interface to this order book. And you will need to use our interface, meaning GEX interface, which will give you both the interface to the order book itself. So there will be a trading interface, which is a Flex interface. But also it will be connected to all the, I will show some of that today, just screenshots, how it looks, to the KWF tools, investor tools, to provide liquidity for these Gosh projects. Maybe it sounds complicated, but I hope we will clarify that all today.
We will.
All right. So you kind of answered already why you're launching GEX, or do you have any additives to that?
Yeah. It's well, it like maybe opportunistic in a way, because like there was a plan long ago for KWPC to launch the KW Finance tools on top of Flex, but it didn't happen because Flex didn't launch, for almost a year. And it finally launched now, and it's changed many times. Like the Flex strategy changed, a lot of things changed, and KWPC changed because we couldn't just sit and wait for Flex to like launch for a year. So KWPC team worked a lot for Gosh. That did a lot of stuff for Gosh, participated in Gosh launch in May, prepared many like tools for Gosh and so on and so forth, and then Flex launched. So like we cannot switch too much. We cannot just 2G focusing. We basically cannot take what we said. Like, I mean, what are we going to do? Like KWPC is working with Gosh team very closely now, and then okay, so now we need to run and work with Flex. It's just too complicated. Can we just do that maybe just one for all and kind of unify that all into one effort? And yeah, that's so we decided, let's do that. And so we take GEX and kind of bring it to Everscale, to Flex, and just launch it. Because anyway, the GEX on the Gosh blockchain, it will take time to launch. And it wasn't planned to launch like that now. So we take this opportunity, and we are launching all of it together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice. So you mentioned a little bit already before, but so what tokens are going to be listed on GEX? You talked about Gosh project repository tokens. Can you go?
Yeah, only Gosh repository tokens. So the projects that want to list on GEX, they need to come from Gosh. And we have a line of projects that are working with Gosh already. And some of them wanted to kind of have their token listed. So that's how it's going to work. So you have a project on Gosh, you have a repository. There you have with every repository, there is a DAO token, which manages your repository. But if you want this token to be listed for your repository as your repository token, your DAO token, then we provide you with really easy path to this. Like you just say, okay, I have that requirements. My project like answers these requirements. I want to list. Boom. And we present it to our
investors,
to investors, yeah, to stakers, and they decide then if they want to support you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Maren, do you have another question from our viewers?
Yes. So for
Maren returned with a question.
Oh, sorry, something just messes with the camera, so it just continues. So can you explain to us what is the core value of a decentralized exchange? So I think for listeners who don't have an exact idea what it is.
Yeah, so decentralized exchange is exchange which we don't need to ask any permission to use. And this is, of course, the great innovation brought to us by Vitalik Buterin with Uniswap idea, but then kind of Uniswap type of exchanges, they're not really exchanges, they're liquidity pools, basically just the swappers, basically. And the reason why they did this design was because blockchains couldn't support order book exchange. Of course, in the real life, all of the all of the exchanges are order books, and this is like the only type of exchange you have in the world, except for blockchains where it wasn't possible in terms of performance of the blockchain to just create order book exchange. People tried, but then they just couldn't. And in a completely decentralized way. What they could do is like GEX is doing is where it is an order book exchange, but the exchange itself is centralized, and they just bring some proofs to the network. So you're not really exchanging on chain, you're exchanging off chain. So Flex, as well as Solana's Serum exchange, are the only two actually working examples of order book exchanges on the blockchain, completely decentralized. They're just a bunch of smart contracts. You send tokens there, and if you hit the price, someone else wants to swap it on this price, you just do it, and then if not, you can perform on top of that all sorts of strategies, like a normal order book exchange. So that's it. That's what decentralized exchange is. And of course, the value it provides is because it's the same as normal exchange you use, like NASDAQ, whatever, NYSE, and so on, except for it's not decentralized. It's completely decentralized, so it's not permissioned. You don't need to ask anyone to trade whatever you want.
Thank you. So, okay, now coming to the maybe most interesting question, I believe. So now that in 30 days, actually, KWT last tokens will be unlocked. What next, Mitya? What can you do next with these tokens? I know you have a scheme that you wanted to share with us. Maybe you can share your screen and go briefly through it for our viewers. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So it's what you can do with KWT tokens. It doesn't matter. You don't need to wait until they're unlocked. If you have them now, like, you can take them, and when the KWF will launch, when the GEX on Flex will launch, you will be able to stake them 1 to 5 years. And when you stake them, you receive a token which we call KWL. It's a liquidity token, the liquidity pool, and I will explain maybe why it's a separate token. And you will receive the amount of tokens equal to your KWT if you stake for 5 years. And if you stake, for less, then you will get less KWL. It's very simple. It's like Curve. It's like Ghosh tokenomics doing the same. As you can see, this is very similar to Ghosh tokenomics. And there is a reason for that. And it's precisely this reason that that's why it's GEX, actually. But instead of Ghosh tokens here, you will just use KWT to provide liquidity for these projects now. And so once you get the KWL tokens, then these tokens are only actually used in relation to, like, only them can be used in relation to the providing liquidity to this other project. So the project, you're voting for the project with the tokens, as we explained a lot, I think, what you do with KWF. So it's SCV, soft cooperative voting mechanism, which all the participants that has KWL can vote with this for particular projects, which will allocate some of this, depends on how much you vote, how much everyone and all of you together vote, to this project pool. By the way, during this mechanism, it will also discover a first price of this token when it starts trading. So of course, projects will propose you their tokens and their tokenomics and so on. And then you decide, like, how much token price in relation to KWL should be. And you put that into the automatic market maker contract. And this contract is actually just a liquidity pool on top of Flex decentralized exchange. And that's it. Of course, back you receive whatever maker fees this AMM, because Flex pays maker fees for market makers. And so you will receive fees and errors for the trading activities on these tokens, but also against IMM. But also the project will, provide the farming fees, farming whatever percentage on top of for the liquidity that you provide with the KWL, so that you will mine or farm project tokens
Additional.
during this, additionally. Again, this is the tokens are locked in a cooperative manner, and we may go for that later, but
so
we already discussed that.
Because one of our viewers' question was about how the investment process will take place, and actually the answer is through our killer
through the SCV, through the normal KWPC SCV tools.
So all the projects will be presented here on KWPC, where we will present the project, have an interview with the founder, with the team, and the voting for allocation through soft cooperative voting will take place. So everything will be, live. And basically, so it's gonna happen all here, guys. So if you're not subscribed, by the way, subscribe to the channel. Just say. Okay.
Just coming back to the soft cooperative voting, how does it work? Can you explain
so I just showing you the interface. I guess that we had I think demonstration of that some times ago, so not won't go too deep into that, but basically you have a projects. Well, this is already advanced interface when you have project basically metrics that you before it starts, after it starts, you will have actually before it starts also you'll get metrics from the GOSH that has whatever what the repository is doing, what's the product and so on. And then there is a decision making. With the first decision making is when you vote. When you vote during the show, it's basically kind of an auction in a way, which you kind of vote for a price and the token allocation from the pool. So you vote with your tokens, but then the total percentage of all tokens is taken, and kind of this percentage is then taken from the pool, all of these tokens proportionally, so everyone pays this kind of the same proportion from their allocation to this project if the project has passed, meaning it kind of crossed the threshold. So this is the process. It's cooperative, so it's everyone votes for a pool, right? And the total support is what decides the total allocation for this pool.
I have one personal question. Why is that I'm named Maria Usaeva on this picture?
I have no bloody idea. You need to ask Artyom why suddenly. And he continued. He really.
I know. He liked this name, I guess. So what about those who want to stake KWT but who never locked their Evers in first place? Is there any option for them? Where they can get KWT?
All right, and then here is the horrible part is that you can't. There is no way to get KWT tokens except for if you kind of go beg someone to sell it to you. That's it. I mean, nothing else, I guess.
Okay, so peer-to-peer transactions, basically. That's the only way. So okay, so the first part we're done. So now let's get to some of the other viewers' questions that we have been submitted. So the first off, Maren, would you start with the first one?
Yes. So the first question is, are you planning to redistribute some of the transaction fees to the mainnet validators?
This is I don't know if I understand the question at all. I mean, what does it mean? Okay, so if that relates to the main network of Everscale, because it's this exchange is the Flex order book, And the Flex order book uses Everscale, and Everscale pays validator transaction fees. So I guess that question answered. I
Yes,
think.
thank you.
If that relates to the GOSH tokenomics and how GOSH pays validators, then it's a completely different story, which we're not discussing today, and we have discussed it in tokenomics session beforehand. So.
Right, yes, so please check the tokenomics video. Okay, so in the fall of 2021, Mitya said that in order to participate in Killer Whale podcast, it would be necessary to have not only KWT tokens, but also Ever tokens equivalent to the amount. Does this condition remain?
No, not at this particular moment, because the pools will be KWL versus project token. There will be no pool ever versus anything on this exchange. No other tokens would be presented as well. On the GOSH tokens against KWL token will be presented. That's it. Later, sure, we will add support for different currencies, but not now. And the reason why not now is because of the price discovery. We need to allow the price discovery, and that takes time. And the other tokens will just basically interfere with this process right now. It will provide wrong indications because it's comparing like apples and oranges. And yeah, I mean, once you have stable currency and you have a market where same people buys this apple and oranges, then you kind of can compare through this price per same thing, right? But if you just start a small market on an island, okay, you're in an island, you don't have any connection to the outside world, and you start your currency within this island, and you want to trade oranges and apples. You take this currency that you just created as just my island currency. I don't hell know how it relates to the dollars of this world. And frankly speaking, I don't want to. Because like there is no outsiders who come and, we don't want to allow, of course we have a small economy yet. And if some big guy with dollars will come for $1, maybe can buy the whole fucking island. We don't want that. Can we do that? Hell yeah. Who says no? Right? So this is our small island thing. We're just starting. These are lovely projects. Some of them are really great. And here is our token. It's called KWL. How much it costs? We don't know. Do you have it or not? That's the whole question. Right. And if you do, how much? Right, that's all. Can you afford to buy our small island product or not? Simple as that.
Okay. So next question. What will be the initial exchange rate for KWT and Evers?
There won't be.
There won't be. Okay.
If you listen, you can come to me and say like, I want to buy your KWT tokens. You know what I will tell you? Go fuck yourself. Okay. That's it, guys. So if someone will sell you some tokens for whatever price they think, be my guest. You bought, now you know the price. Nobody else does.
All right. So we know that GEX and Flex have one order book, but will GEX tokens, GOSH, KWT, etc., be hidden in Flex interface?
That's not the question to me. That's a question to the Flex interface. We will like KW. We won't show you, at least in the beginning, we won't show you the listed tokens on Flex. So you cannot use KWF tools to trade on Flex on other Flex tokens right now. You can go download Flex interface and trade their tokens. And it's the same order book, same smart contracts, we just don't show them in the interface. You go find the interface that shows you the tokens that you want to trade on and be their guest, I guess. Am I good today?
Very good, yes.
Very good.
I know. That's a celebration stream after all, right? We
Right.
have one year of KWT.
Yeah.
Also
New year.
New Year, right.
Right. Maren, so you maybe can you ask the next question? Yeah.
So yes, can you tell us in detail about the algorithm of atomic swaps?
I can tell a lot of algorithms of many atomic swaps, but I guess they want to talk about atomic swaps between Gauche and Everscale. Nope, I can't, and it's not important right now because the tokens you don't need to atomic swap anything. Like the tokens on Gauche will be just manually swapped to the tokens in Flex and in GEX, and since you see the tokens, like you will be able to, like, it doesn't matter who performed the operation, like as long as tokens are there, so they locked and you can see the smart contract, and that's it. So automatic atomic swaps or atomic swaps, they're not ready yet, and we are not doing, like, I don't do them. Okay, it's actually Surf team who is doing this work, and you need to ask them the status of that.
Sorry, we are jumping from one argument to another one. We have another interesting
question. As you're not jumping on the screen, everything is fine.
Okay. So do you plan to work with Gauche, with NFTs? Maybe, Mitya, in your answer, you can talk about CFTs, because we heard about CFTs. So that's interesting. If you can cover.
Well, that's a two very different things. Like NFTs, no, we're not. And we're not planning to. NFTs are just not interesting, and they don't require order book. It's a peer-to-peer trading, basically. NFT. So NFT requires marketplace, and you have tons of this. So we don't want to get into NFTs. Now CFT is a completely different matter, but the CFTs are soul-bound tokens on Gauche, so you don't trade. They're not tradable. They belong to you, and they just tells everyone else what are your achievements on Gauche, what are your open source achievements. You can use them to find job. You can use them to salute people and, wonder how good they are, and so on and so forth. Like, you can use them for granting permissions to join your repository contribution, and so on and so forth. So you can do this, and these are great. I think this is one of the best things we came up with on Gauche, and I'm really, looking forward for their launch. But they don't require any trading whatsoever.
Very interesting.
And even if they would, I mean, it's still peer-to-peer trading. Like, there is no marketplace because it's just by definition they're non-fungible, and so or commit fungible is also non-fungible. So what is the point of the order book of non-fungible items? There is no order book on eBay, guys.
Right.
There are auctions on eBay, but no order book.
GEX will be a full-fledged exchange like Flex?
It is the same exchange. It just will. I can sing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
Yes, it will. Okay.
So what about the KWF tokens?
KWF tokens is a different product, and they are related to the fund, and we're not launching the fund yet. It's only full pool. So once we're just starting our small island economy with this, our small products, apples, oranges, whatever you like, on a Sunday day or night. that's it. So we start from this, and then if some people will say to us and start saying to us, okay, this project wants money and I want to give it to them, then we kind of say, all right, we can launch the KWF. Of course, today's economy, like the situation that we are in right now, great period of time, by the way. I hope you're all buying, because this is one of these opportunities, perfect storm, something when you create your wealth. If you want to create the wealth, you do it now.
No.
Because assets are cheap. They weren't cheap like that for years, and everyone were like, why we didn't buy Bitcoin 10 years ago? Here you go, guys. This is your opportunity to buy these things now. Guess what? You're not doing this. Right? Unless why markets go down? Because you're not doing this. You're not doing this, guys, and that's why you will cry, because people who don't do that, they cry
at the end.
No, they cry all the way. It's not in the end. They go all the way, because that will go up, and you will just cry. So, yeah, there are people who cry, people who make. That's why there are not too many wealthy people in the world, but a lot of people who cry, a lot.
Oh yeah, unfortunately. Okay, talking about some nice things. Will there be a mobile wallet for Gosh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there will be. Yeah,
planning.
It's not a wallet, it's a Gosh. It's my Gosh application, and it's going to be released one day or another. It will be for sure.
So
we're not in a hurry right now. There's myriads of things that we want to do. There is a huge roadmap, like huge roadmap.
A long way ahead.
Huge roadmap.
All right. So
and when people ask me when all this time, and they just, this is the same people who cry, by the way. It's absolutely same people. Like these people cry they didn't do something, and they also, same thing, they're asking when. When we will do that, it will be too late, guys. As simple as that. When everything will be done, there will be nothing for you left. Nothing. Different people will make money, not you. Get it? Don't ask when, do something.
All right, so I'm really happy now that this isn't a when question. So are you planning to add liquidity pools to exchange KWT tokens on Flatcube?
Why would we do that? What's the reason?
Well, so I guess no for now.
Don't tell me, give me the reason. Okay, I'm a reasonable person. I'm not, but okay, I am really. I am a reasonable person. Tell me one reason why we should do that.
Please,
our small island. Remember our small island.
Right.
We have this apple, oranges, and our tiny token, and then these guys are saying, "Oh, bring it to us. Bring it to us." No.
So whomever submitted this question, you may write your reason. Why did you ask this question?
You are the right. We're not doing that. You and people like you.
Right. So will the GEX exchange have its own token? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it will. Certainly it will. Once it launch on Gosh, it will have the token, which is you can get it by exchanging LV Gosh, which is the sort of Gosh locked token. Gosh token, remember, can be locked to do two things, one at a time.
Right. So maybe
either you vote or you stake and give liquidity, and that's exactly like you provide liquidity with this GEX token. So yeah, you get GEX tokens for liquidity. Not on KWL, not on KWF, not in this whole kind of structure. It doesn't fit into this structure. So not yet, but yeah, it will.
Okay, so we do have a question also that it's the difference between KWL and LV Gosh tokens and GEX tokens. Shall we go briefly?
It is. There is the difference. The LV Gosh is something that happens when you stake GOSH token. But because you don't have
Right.
any GOSH tokens, guys, you are poor, miserable people who don't have any GOSH tokens. You cannot get LV GOSH tokens, and by not having LV GOSH tokens, you cannot stake them and receive the GEX tokens and so on and so forth. So yeah, this is the difference. A KWL is a token what you stake when you have KWT, and KWT. But of course, the people who do have GOSH tokens, they don't have KWL tokens because they don't have KWT.
Right.
You maybe you have KWT token.
Maybe you have a friend who has KWT token. Right. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Or a friend of a friend.
So now to the last question, which starts with when. So when will GEX be live? And just in addition, can you share your vision for GEX on GOSH, please?
I just did, I think I did. You did. So the questions when are kind of questions. This is the reason why I not answering questions when is because I don't have a crystal ball. Do I? Benya, can you give me a ball, please? I have this wonderful ball which glows in the dark. It can go like crystal ball.
Right.
It glows. I don't know why they did a dog ball which glows at night. Can you tell me why?
I don't know.
People has this idea that you have a glowing ball that you can throw at night and the dog will and bring you the ball back. My dog can do that, but I'm just wondering when at night I will do that. Anyway, so I'm saying this is the closest thing I have to the crystal ball. You cannot see the future, and things are not certain, and you just think that you cannot predict things, because sometimes it's also a lot of times it not depends on you. If I would be the person who would do that myself alone at the quietness of my cabinet or of my casket, whatever, then maybe I could tell you when. But
maybe more or less, just to give a vague idea. No,
we're trying to bring it to you in October.
In October, okay.
That's what we want. So by the time the last talk, the last portion of KWT tokens unlocks, we would like to be able to start.
Perfect.
All right.
I think we're done. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Meteor, for your time. And thanks everyone who joined us today. The session was recorded and you can always rewatch it on our channel here. And for additional use, I strongly advise you to subscribe also to our Telegram channel. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Meteor. Happy New Year, by the way. I just got my
Happy New Year.
You see.
Happy New Year.
I did that before.
All right. Happy New Year and happy new launch.
Cheers.
Hope.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So thank you again, guys. Yes, for being here with us, everybody. I will see you very soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.